So Marvel's Eternals, the film built to pander and virtue signal when all you hear about it is how it's got the first gay superhero in it, because that's what your average customer cares about. Apparently they think that's what you care about, that it's got a gay guy in it. I couldn't care less. But you've already got these shill websites or shills on Twitter, wherever it may be, that they're setting up their defense for the film. Where if you don't like this film, if you criticize this film in any way, then you're a bigot. You just don't like gay people. That's what they'll run with. But you've already got websites like this. Now they're trying to spin a whole review bombing thing going on, where they've presented evidence and they've just, there's a bit in there. It's like, you're not supposed to look at don't look at this bit though. Just look at the 1-star reviews. Look at those. So this is the evidence they posted. They posted this graph for the IMDb users. And again, all these people on here haven't seen the film. So you've got 1-star reviews, that's 450 votes. Then if you have a look at the 10-star ratings, 934 votes. So yes, it has been review bombed, but in the opposite direction. It's been review bombed with 10 stars. But you're supposed to be dumb enough to miss this. You're supposed to just skim past it. So it's really nothing more than just trolls and shills having a bit of a scrap. That's all it seems like. But you're not supposed to read into it too much. You're supposed to go, oh yeah, the bad reviews, that's review. But you're not supposed to look at the 10-star ratings. So they're that moronic. They haven't spotted this before they've wrote an entire article about it. Then in response to this article, in a tweet that's now been deleted, I wonder why that is. Adult pretender Kamal Nanjiani says, looks like we're upsetting the right people. The right people meaning customers, fan base, potential customers. They're the people that you want to upset. This is nothing new that we see from these Hollywood actors. They always come out here, just go, fuck the fans, get rid of them. We don't want this film to be successful in any way, shape or form. Why they have that mind? Because they're egotistical assholes. And then if you want to actually talk about the review bombing, the critics don't even like this film. It's now down to 61%. It's been in freefall for the past few days. When I checked last, like maybe 3 or 4 days, it was at about 72. Now it's at 61, so it's just going down and down. Which is quite surprising because, like, when their first reactions, like, from the critics were coming out, it was, oh, it's a masterpiece, it's epic, it's beautiful. And then when they put out their actual reviews, they just tear it apart. But what makes this even funnier is that Eternals passes for The Dark World as the worst reviewed MCU movie ever. So it must be really bad. So it's not really looking good for this film at the moment if it's just getting teared to pieces. You're always going to have your shills, and you're always going to have the people that are just going to like whatever they do. But it must be really bad for the critics to go, yeah, this film's shit. It's like they're not going to go that far, but they have pointed out bits and pieces that it's just a bad film. Which, it makes sense to me. It looks shit. It looks boring. It looks dull. It looks pandering. It looks virtue. That's all this film's made for, really. Because the only thing they've been leading with is how diverse it is. The representation. The gay couple with a son. Yeah. The people that would come and see this film, they don't give a shit about that. But Hollywood, with all their films now, they've got a lead on this idea that we give a fuck. We don't fucking care. Stop pandering to people. It's like they act as if like even the like gay people like enjoy this. They enjoy being pandered to, treated like superficially, because that's what all this is. Whenever they incorporate this diversity, and this representation, it's a lot of bollocks. They can never lead with the character. They just lead with, him and his husband do this in the bed. That's what they always lead with. It's like the average person, the average moviegoer doesn't care about that. And when you push it, people just go, well, why do I want to go and see this? Why am I interested in seeing just this virtue signaling film? So this whole review bombing narrative isn't really going anywhere if the critics are already like shitting on it. But you've got your sites like this where everything they do is based on how much access they have. Where you've got sites like TheDirect where they've got access to all corners of anything Marvel. So of course they're gonna run to the defense. They're gonna try and spin some narrative that is getting review bombed because there's gay people in it. It's like, I imagine the people that are like review bombing it in the way that, like, in a negative light. I wouldn't really go out and say, oh well, it's clearly because of no, it's because of the way you're doing it. Because you don't lead with what the character is or who they are. You just lead with, well, he just sleeps with this other man. It's like, how is that interesting to anyone? That's what people are sick of. They're sick of the pandering. They're sick of your woke bullshit. It's got nothing to do with, oh, because they don't like gay people. But that's what you're going to say anyway. Because you look for any fucking way to discredit people, disregard people. The quickest way to discredit people is go, oh, well, that's just because they're anti-gay. So I guess Marvel can read this headline here. They can read it and weep. This is what happens when you're more focused on superficial bollocks, pandering to people that the majority of them aren't interested in that. Most people just want good characters, that's it. Don't give a fuck who you go to bed with. That's not interesting. But I'll say it again, this is what happens when you focus on the wrong things. And then you create a pile of dog shit. And then you've got Hollywood actors with their heads just so far up their asses, stuck in their little Hollywood bubble, that still go out of their way just to put more people off. They want to upset the fans because they hate the fans. They just make it worse for themselves. They can never just keep their little mouths shut and just do their little pretend game. Just play their little pretend roles in front of a green screen and then go on about, oh, I'm the first this, I'm the first that. I don't care. I just want a good film. I don't care about your pandering. I don't care about anything you've got to say. But this is the sort of thing that you're going to see from now until the film releases, and then a few months after it. It's going to be another one of these films that will be defended. Although, well, it's not being defended by the critics this time, which I'm surprised at. So it must be a really bad film, to be honest. But they're just getting ready. They need to set up their little defenses. That's what they got to do. So you're going to see sites like this. You're going to see people on Twitter come to their defense, even if the film is actually shit. Because we know we've just got people out there that just accept anything, never want anything to get better or be better. No one wants like better storytelling, and it's because they keep going down this route of, oh well, now it's about, I don't care. So we're now at the point where you're only really getting a couple of good films a year. Like Dune. Dune was a good film. I enjoyed that. But again, it's always a once in a while thing. And Marvel's Phase 4, which most people are calling Phase 4, because Phase 4 has been absolutely terrible. Loki being one of the worst things I've ever seen. But Marvel will just run out of steam, so now they're just jumping on this train, then they'll jump to the next train. And then the problem comes with this whole review bombing thing. They just try and label everyone that gives this a negative review, it's because they're review bombing it. So that's what they try and do. That's why they try and discredit people. That's why they just bring in this, oh well, you're anti-gay. Because that's all they've got. They can't do anything else other than that except accuse you of things to get rid of you and to stop people from listening to you. So if this movie does fail, which I think it might make money, but I don't care about that. I care about if the film's good or not. If it makes money, it's a completely different point. I definitely won't be going to see this film. Even when they first started talking about it in the trailer, I'm not even fucking interested. I couldn't care less about this film. But we'll see them amp this sort of stuff up in the coming days up until the release. But that's all I got to say on that anyway. So if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.